Hi, hello friends, welcome back to Night Court Narrative. My name is Elvish. I hope you guys are doing fantastic. Listen, I am going through it today. I know y'all are probably tired of hearing it, but man, my mic is fucked up. I started recording, everything was absolutely corrupt, so it took me about 10 years to get everything back on here. With that being said, I also have no outro, so what's happening in the month of February? I guess you'll have to wait to see. It is so bad. I am trying to keep a level head because I am frustrated. But Alex, all right, this next part is for Alex. If you are not Alex, I mean stay, but if you're not Alex, what, Miss Ma'am, what do you mean the end? Huh? The end? What you cannot be like serious right now. You cannot be so fucking for real, Alex. You did not just whip out at the end after the most criminal cliffhanger of my life. And there's no telling when the next book is coming out. You know what? Fuck it. This is Crowntide by Alex Aster. Without a doubt, 10 out of 10. Do recommend. This overtook Skyshade and became easily my favorite book in the series. I absolutely loved this book. But for context, after everything that happened in Skyshade and Nightbane, the kingdoms are now obviously on the brink of war. Alliances are shaky. Isla is finally stepping into her leadership role, navigating the political chaos while also managing her growing magical power, which she is kind of a baddie in this book, I'm not gonna lie. We do have Grimm. He does return. Unfortunately, his ancestor did completely wipe his memory, so he has no recollection of anything between him and Isla, which obviously throws that dynamic between him, Isla, and Oro into total turmoil. Trust is now fragile. Every choice carries massive consequences. Oro is kind of he's kind of desperate in this book. I'm sorry. I just literally upset every single Oro stan. But I don't know, he's kind of desperate in this book. I don't get it. We also explore the other world, also known as Crowntide, revealing secrets about the crown, the curses, and the ancient magic that binds everything together. Battles are obviously brewing, betrayals are happening, and the tension is through the roof. And just when you think you might get resolution, Alex decides to drop, as I already mentioned, the most painful and most criminal cliffhanger imaginable, leaving us at the edge of our seats. I literally could not. I was at work. Mind you, I was listening to the audiobook because I can't read physical books at work. I was at work. I set my phone down for 2 seconds and I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna go and do task B while I get, task A finished. 2 birds, 1 stone. We love that. I literally make it all the way, and mind you, this is halfway across the store. I make it halfway when the ending comes up and I'm like, oh shit, this is about to get real. I'm gonna love it. And then pulls out the end. You can't be serious, Alex. When I literally say, and I don't know because I work alone, so if my boss were to look at the cameras, I don't know what he thought happened, but if he were to look at the cameras, I broke my neck so severely. I looked like an owl twisting my head fucking 360. I was so shook to my core. I don't, I want to say crisis, like emotional crisis is averted. It's not. We're still here. I'm still upset. It has been officially 4 days, and this is the only book that I have been able to think about. I am almost completely done with Madness by Chantal Tessier, and this is the only book I can think about. I love that book too. It's going well. Is it 10 out of 10? No. Alex, be so fucking for real right now. I love you, but I'm so upsetty with you right now, ma'am. All right. Let's talk about why I loved Crowntide. First of all, if you guys know anything about Alex Aster, obviously she is one of my all-time favorite authors at the moment. She is my auto buy. I don't even know what a book is about, but I pre-order that bitch and I read it as soon as it comes in. She does such a great job with every single book that I've read. Besides Nightbane being a 4.5, there has not been a book under 5 stars from her yet. And I am going to stand by that, and I'm going to die fighting on that hill. I love Alex Aster and I love her books. I'm just saying, if you don't agree, you might be wrong. No, I'm kidding. But with that being said, her world building is mwah. Her world building is top notch. The realms are alive, they're dangerous, and they're perfectly tied to the story. It feels natural and it feels realistic, which I think is something that like really ties together a good fantasy, because there are so many fantasies out there where obviously, yeah, I know dragons don't exist, whatever, to each their own, but like there are so many fantasy books out there where you're just like, okay, I could never see this happening. This is the most unrealistic thing in the world. Like, why are we even here, But the thing with Alex, she does a really good job at tying you in, but at the same time tying in her world with the real world in a sense, and she makes it so uniquely realistic to where you're not wondering, okay, like, is this something that could actually happen? You're like, no, this is my world now. Does that make sense? The characters, pure perfection. I absolutely love them. We got the good, the bad, the ugly, the good versus evil tension. It ran so smooth. I will say though, I'm not gonna lie, I know I kind of already dipped my toes in it a little bit. Oro in this book, kind of weird, kind of desperate, kind of needs to kind of needs to seek some therapy, but I don't know. I can see where he's coming from and I can see where the desperation is hitting, but at the same time, like where we are in this series, like not necessarily book wise, but where we are in the series character wise, I do think that Grimm needs to get a little bit of a hold on reality and realize that maybe him and Isla really isn't meant to be endgame, but at the same time Isla is really leading him on. Every single time he's like, okay, you know what, I think I'm gonna finally forget about it, she comes crawling back, and it kind of sparks that naivety, what is that word? What is that word? You know what I'm talking about. And it just kind of sparks little things in his brain, basically giving him the weird sense of, okay, this might actually be something if I just hold out a little bit longer. And at the end of the day, I do really think that he's kind of losing himself as a character, not necessarily in a writing sense. I don't think that Alex is writing him lesser than, but I do think, in my personal opinion of like a reader, I do think he's kind of losing himself a little bit. So moving on to the next book, I'm very curious to see how Oro is dynamically, because he is definitely not the headstrong king that we saw in Lightlark. He has definitely diminished a lot as far as his development goes and as far as his mental state goes. So I'm definitely very interested to see how the next book is with Oro. But the other characters, phenomenal. We get all the side characters. We get the other realm leaders. We get Oro's friends. We get everyone in this book. And I know I've said it so many times, but every character in this book are distinctly different from one another, which is something that I harp on literally in every single video. I cannot stand it when authors give you more than like one or two characters when they can't handle writing multiple characters at once. And she does a fantastic, phenomenal job on giving you every individual distinct character with own personalities, own mannerisms, own way of throwing it back. Let's be real. We all want to see Azul throw it back once. I can't say anymore. Grimm. Oh wow, Grimm was the star of the show in this book. Specifically, we follow Grimm. Obviously the first half of the book, him and Oro are doing everything they can to get Isla back, and you know, we see Grimm to the brink of practically breaking himself over and over again just to get his wife back, and you can see what a toll that takes on him. And then for him to lose his memories within literally the snap of a finger, we see the Grimm that we've grown to love and the personality completely fade away, and he becomes the evil at that moment, and he becomes super cold, standoffish, kind of broody, if you will, and it kind of sets the tension on fire. You could definitely cut all the tension with a knife in this one, but you know, throughout the book too, we do see evil Grimm. That's what I'm gonna call him. You do see evil Grimm kind of start slipping, and you do kind of get to see a little bit more of the OG Grimm slip out. Do we officially get OG Grimm back? Unfortunately, spoiler, we do not. But there's an even bigger spoiler, which I don't even know if I want to say. I literally don't know if I want to say that, because like, you know me, I'm all about giving spoilers, but this book shook me to my entire core. So I kind of want to leave it up to the reader to figure out what happened. So we're not going to say the spoiler in this video yet, because I want to see how the next book comes out. And I want to see how the next book handles what we just went through. I don't know. We'll see by the end of this book. We'll see. Isla, character-wise, she became a fucking baddie. She went from this petite little frail girl that had no sense of anything in the world, and she became a fierce baddie. She could literally, I'm so sure she could literally rule and be like the queen of Lightlark and not have to worry about it, because with all the power that she has and with her training, is she quite there yet? No, but could she get there eventually? Oh, absolutely. I really do think that she is probably, I know everyone in the book keeps saying that she is the most powerful being in the realm, but we don't necessarily get to see that to its fullest extent yet. I do think the next book we are going to see that. I think the next book is when Isla finally loses her shit and completely lets go. So I'm excited for that. We do get to see a lot of development with her. I really love to see how she has grown so completely from Lightlark Nightbane to even now. She's got a completely different person, and I really do enjoy that. We also get her ancestor Lark. I did not like Lark in the last book. I kind of found her to be a little bit aggressive, which I guess is the point, but in this book I actually kind of liked her. She gives very much Gamora vibes, kind of. If you know, like, Guardians of the Galaxy. I don't know. Does she give Gamora or her sister? No, I don't know. Well, she gives one of the sisters vibes, and she's a bit aggressive, but I think in this book we do kind of see her wither a little bit, and like her power, I guess, and her sense of needing everything to be doom and gloom. We do kind of see her humanity slip out a little bit, which I really did enjoy. So I don't know, I overall, like, character wise, I absolutely enjoyed this book wholeheartedly. But yeah, there were moments in this book as well that absolutely made me stop breathing, moments that made me start reading faster, aka the ending, which granted, like I said, I was at work, so I did read the beginning part of this book, or like the first half physically, and then the last half I was at work, so I did listen to the audiobook. But my god, it was so insane. My only complaint I think about the book is that it wasn't longer. I'm not gonna lie, it wasn't longer. I needed more like conclusion and more closure towards the end. But yeah, the tension between Grimm, Oro, and Isla, absolutely insane. The emotional stakes, the relationships, the chaos, Grimm's memory loss, his return, pure fire. The way Alex sets up the next book is also genius, but as I mentioned, very fucking cruel. The ending isn't just a cliffhanger, but it's an emotional kind of yo-yo, if you will. It leaves you screaming into the void, like, what did I literally just read? Oh my god, I can't. It's the only thing I've been able to think of for the past week now. I have been waiting to record this video for like a week. The ending is the definition of a setup finale. I do agree with that. I do believe that there are 2 more books left in the series, so we can definitely see. I do think the next book is where the shit hits the fan and everything, as far as like war and heartbreak, like, comes out. The final book might be a little bit of that and more of the closure of everyone rebuilding and making anew, I'm assuming, to kind of tie up loose ends. But I do feel like the next book is going to be absolutely killer. It's going to wreck my entire being. But you know, I do think that this one was emotionally explosive. As far as like the next one, that one will definitely be emotionally explosive, but it does leave the real payoff for the next installment, which I do think that that one is going to be overly heartbreaking. I'm not ready for the next book, actually. Yeah, like, I literally feel like I was completely yeeted off of a cliff reading this book. Like, I am so overly upset, but that is all I really have. I'm torn between telling you guys the final actual spoiler or just keeping it to myself right now, because I don't know how to emotionally recover from what I read, and I think even as a reader, I'm trying to also process everything right now too. So I feel like if I tell you guys the outcome, I might ruin it for y'all. And I don't want that to happen. So definitely, please go check this book out. This was my favorite book out of the series. I am not gonna lie, now that I have finished Lightlark, as like, you know, what is out now, I can honestly say that Lightlark is one of my top 3 favorite series. I absolutely love this series so much. I will definitely be rereading it. I do want to kind of deep dive into the world a little bit more. If you guys remember when I read ACOTAR, I've read ACOTAR about 5 times now. I have deep dove into the world so much to where I predict things happening, and most of the time they either come true or they are way off, but I still feel really good about it. So I kind of want to reread the story, kind of deep dive into it a little bit more, see if I missed anything, because you know, authors do have a tendency of putting spoilers in the beginning of their books or like book series, and you don't notice until the book is over and you go and reread the series again. You're like, okay, was I really that dumb? I did not see that. So I definitely want to reread it, see if she maybe planted anything that we didn't get the first time. And I don't know, I'm really, really excited for the next book. I need it to happen more than anything. Alex, you are phenomenal. I already have Starside completely pre-ordered. I cannot wait. It's coming out in a week. I know you guys are seeing this after Starside has already been released. It comes out in a week. I cannot wait to read that. I also cannot wait for the Barbie book. I promise you, you will always have a fan in me, because absolutely amazing. Chef's kiss. You're perfection. But yes, I'm so sorry there is no outro today, so we are stopping abruptly. I will definitely have that fixed the next time, but I hope everyone has a fantastic day. Have you guys read Lightlark? Because I need to discuss it with someone, and I think I have a friend that might read it here soon, maybe two, I don't know, but let me know what you guys thought. If you just think I'm completely over glorifying this book and it was trash, let me know. I will be kind of sad, but I definitely like opinions and I want to know. But let me know what you guys thought about this book, because I need to discuss what the hell just happened. But let's also try and keep the ending spoiler out of it, because this book is fairly newer. I do kind of want people to get into the series before everything is possibly ripped away. But yes, I hope y'all have a great night, and I will see you guys next time. Bye, y'all.